start streaming.
All right.
Once things are up and running, we hit this button and then we go.
Sounds good.
Go on. Do your thing. Haha! Oh no. I almost played it on the wrong channel. It almost went over the air.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, it's bad. Well, we solved it though. We fixed it.
You caught it. You caught it. That's all that matters.
We're okay. I guess I'll let it play a little longer. I can mess with the intro live.
Dang, yeah, you can.
Probably shouldn't though. That's bad.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody. Hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cruisin the Planet. I believe this is episode 68. Nice -1. Today we're joined by all my notes are everywhere. I've scattered them to the winds. Here we go. Today we're joined by Jake.
Hi, I'm Jake.
He's come in so graciously on his day off.
My day off.
Because he's a salary man now.
I love this show.
And he loves the show.
Mm-hmm.
As also, Jake is a, well, there's no easy way to put it, Jake. It's you and me again.
Yep. The dynamic duo.
But today, specifically, is 1 year from us going like, spring break just started. Hey!
I know. It has been a year, and we're still wearing these.
I know. Well, we weren't wearing them last time. That was the thing. Spring break started, everyone left, and it was just like, all right, we're going to see everyone in like a week. It's all good. And then like next week, it was just you and me again, and we were like, spring break's been extended.
Yeah.
I guess we're just going to keep hanging out, you know what I mean?
And then another week, and it's like, people aren't
Then
back.
Lance came in on that third one, and he was like, nobody's returning, Ethan. It's just you two for the next couple of weeks.
We're Left 4 Dead. We're Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh! Today is Left 4 Dead 2. I put, what did I put the title for? Round 2. So maybe we can adjust that later on.
Round 2, Left 4 Dead 2.
That's what I have in my notes. Speaking of Left 4 Dead 2, just on spring break topics, trying to keep it a little more light and relaxed.
Sure.
Speaking of like video games and stuff, I know you, adamant recluse Jake Rudisell, the singular, as we were able to confirm.
Yes, I'm the only one. I'm the only one in existence.
He's the only one. If you come into America saying that you're Jake Rudisell, you're not.
Yeah, you're a doppelganger.
You're a doppelganger.
Or a man from Tarleton, I think it's called.
What? Talrid?
I'll tell you about that after the intro.
Oh, okay. I wanted to sort of just talk more on a relaxed spring break. Texas we've officially started. I believe today is the first day. No, today's the first day after the mask mandate's worn off.
Yeah.
Texas is officially under the 100% back open. Mm-hmm. However, YouTube audience, you might be able to notice that we have our masks on.
Yeah.
We still wear them. I was at the gas station earlier today grabbing a little bit of a snacky snack before coming into work.
Oh, me too.
And, twinsies. People aren't wearing masks. No more in Texas. Not necessary in public places. However, yesterday I was out of town with my parents, just sort of talking up shop, working on the truck so that I can use it for a mobile vehicle. I don't know if I talked about this over the show. I think I talked about it on the Ethan is Alone episode, like 65 or whatnot, during the Great Texas Freeze.
Yeah.
My car was broken.
Gotcha.
My car died.
I remember that.
Yes, my vehicle died.
Yes.
She is no more. I have a $300 check from the scrap company.
Yeah.
From the scrap company. She's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But we went and got my dad's old truck fixed up, and I drive that now, the family truck. I've been working on that truck for years, so it's kind of cool that I get to ride it around right now. It's got a new Bluetooth speaker.
Very nice.
I was able to listen to The Bottom is a Rock by Mother.
Very good.
Very loud, and I loved it. But I was out there, and we had to go in and get a battery. That was the last thing on the ticket before I could leave and come back into town and come to work yesterday, where you saw me, and I was very tired. We were walking into the big Walmart in that side of Keller, I believe, north like North Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
And we walked into the Walmart, and this man was like, "You need to put a mask on before coming into the store." My heart jumped out of my chest. I was so excited. Excuse me. Oh no. I had to sneeze. Sorry. I was so excited that there was. It's weird to say this, just from my cyberpunk heritage, but the corporations are doing a good one. They are understanding the concept of you're on private property. You gotta follow the private rules to enter. You gotta wear your mask.
I think it's mainly because it's a PR thing.
I truly believe it is a PR thing. However, currently the ends justify the means, because Texas is about to see a real big stinker of a bad time. I don't know how. The lack of memory that's got me a little peeved off. The lack of understanding that last spring break we were told not to do things, and this spring break, literally an actual year,
cyclical,
and you're letting people off the chain.
Yeah.
And I understand the two-sided argument of well, Ethan, you got to let people do what they want, but we let people do what they want.
Yeah.
And now 500,000 people are dead.
Yeah. I keep my mask on because it's chipped, and I like to drive around in circles to throw off federal agents.
I got to start doing that. Have you seen the guy who, during COVID, they would play drawing games with their jogging watches? They had GPS synced up on. They all had the same account on the computer. Yeah. And so they would go for their runs, and then they would draw shapes on their run. They'll take certain turns and they'll map it out. Yeah. Fact here. Let me see if I can pull a few up. I thought that was incredibly clever. Drawing. Well, geez, how would you even say this? Drawing with
jog watch.
Their jog.
Fitbit, maybe. It's not Fitbit, I don't think. 'Cause I don't think Fitbit has that, but
here we go. Images. Let's see if I can get this up for the. I can't put some of these up for the people just because of unfortunate circumstance. But
I do see what you're talking about, though.
We have a tiny dog. We have a crab monster. We have a person that they sort of drew out, and then they were able to stop, and on a separate run they could draw in the face. We have another person. Somebody drew a Ninja Turtle saying TMNT. They picked out certain roads to run on, and they were able to get that all figured out.
Huh.
I don't know if this one's real or not, but this says Lord Vader.
Huh.
It looks pretty real.
Dang, looks like they're walking a lot. It's hard for me to tell from this distance.
Yeah. Oh, these are miles. They are taking full roads.
Yeah.
This is an entire park. This is an entire golf course.
Huh.
For reference.
Yeah.
And so they ran the distance of a golf course probably 4 times just for the T-Rex tail.
That's pretty good.
But then again, you have nothing else going on. Right?
Yeah.
Here's 2 dudes kissing. So that's good.
I'm sorry, I thought that was I thought that was something that I don't think I can say on the podcast. Let's just say it involves Mario and Sonic. Those who know.
Okay, Jake. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty of understanding what you can and cannot say on the show now.
Yeah.
You've come a long way.
I've
Jake.
grown up.
You've evolved a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mean it in any way on how to say this, but you have answered the phone with more confidence now than you ever have, Jake.
You have no idea how true that is,
dude.
Ethan.
First, when I first came into work, I think there was a phone ring within the first couple of weeks, and I was like, I just turn around I don't know what to do when the phone rings in office. Am I allowed to get it? Is it you that has to get it because you're close? I just don't know the protocol.
Yeah.
You stand up, dude. I could have sworn all of your hair stuck straight up, and you're standing there dancing back and forth, swaying of do I get it? Do I just leave it? Do I get it? Do I leave it? Do I get Lance? Do I get Kirk? And eventually you picked it up, and it was oh, it already rang out.
Yeah.
We lost. Now you just pick it up. You're just Jake Rudisell,
Tarleton Radio.
Yeah, Tarleton Radio or KXDR Radio, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We have multiple names over here in the old university.
Yeah, or the station of many names.
The many named station.
Mm-hmm. And many faces.
Ooh, that's a spooky one.
I'm the cutest.
You're the. Thank you, Jake.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like your confidence through the roof. I am super excited for whenever you leave out of here and you have that resume all figured out. I assume that you and Lance are working on it.
Yes, we have been.
I've seen a couple of them laying around.
Yeah, I leave them around, kind of like it's kind of where I mark my territory with resumes.
It used to be kanji.
It still is kind of kanji.
I don't know. They've mostly been cleaned up into that corner.
That's where I'm usually at. The thing is I mainly do them on my phone. Like I a couple months ago. By a couple months, I mean like probably like 4 months ago. I discovered in my Anki app I could click a button that opens up like a whiteboard. So I could just like draw them all on here.
Facts.
I only really write them in books. One thing I have been doing recently is I go through Japanese news articles and I'll just write them all out.
What?
Yep. Don't know what most of it.
Sick.
Don't know what most of it means, but like I have an app that's like just Japanese news. Like I found out that today is actually a special occasion because it's the 10-year anniversary of a really bad, I think it was an earthquake. That hit Japan in 2011, so it's like a day of mourning or something.
The one that hit the nuclear facility?
No, it wasn't that, but
okay,
it might have been. Hold on, I could tell. I know how to read Fukushima, so I could see if it mentions that at all.
Now I'm googling it.
Oh, Fukushima is mentioned in the article, so it's probably that.
Yep. 9 hours ago, NPR released Revisiting Japan's Fukushima Nuclear Disaster 10 years later.
It's called something different because it's like to there, it's like, it's like how like people say the Waco siege, but like people from Waco would probably say like the Branch Davidian siege.
Yeah.
There it's called Higashi Nihon Dai Shinsai, which translates to the East Japanese Great Earthquake or Large Earthquake.
Well, the thing is, the earthquake didn't just blow up the one, like it
hit a whole lot.
It hit that and everything else, but the problem was it destroyed everything else, and then people were like, okay, the earthquake's done. And then somebody came on the phone line and was just like, we got our nuclear thing is everywhere.
Yeah.
Don't touch the water. Like, get out of the east.
Yes.
Go to the west side. Now,
which like I guess they don't see it as just
localized.
They don't see it as just Fukushima,
right?
It's like because I saw Fukushima was mentioned in the article, but it mentioned a bunch of other places too. Like it mentioned,
like Fukushima has
Iwate-ken, Miyagi-ken. Those places got hit. Those are all on the east side.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just
the whole side of the island was just bombarded by a terrible wave from a massive earthquake.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so there's this sort of level of like internationally we know, like you said, the Waco, like everyone knows this is the Waco siege.
But it's like
everyone in Waco is like, oh, that's the building that had the Branch Davidians.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of that's just the place it is. People who everyone in Dallas.
Yeah.
Who lives there, they drive over the big X where JFK got hit, and they're like, oh, it's the X.
Yeah.
And then anyone else who's, like, remotely related to the JFK conspiracy theorists are like, it's Dallas,
the grassy knoll.
The city that killed the president.
Yeah.
It's like, we live there.
Yeah.
Like, we live here. It's really not that, like, you still eat 3 square meals a day. You still gotta go to the,
Waco's not, or, like, even, like, with Columbine. You know, like that was a high school. Columbine is the name of a high school.
Yeah.
And you live in like Boulder, Colorado. Was it? No, it's Littleton.
Yeah.
You live in Littleton, Colorado. Columbine is just the high school.
Yes.
But like
it has a tragic event.
Yeah. But to me, like Columbine was a mass shooting.
Yes.
It's like that.
Right.
Like we refer to
Mount St. Helens in Montana, it's referred to, and
I thought Mount St. Helens was in Washington.
No, it's in Montana.
Huh.
Well, it's in Yellowstone National. Oh, you know what? You got me. No, it's near Helena. All right, let's just check it.
Yeah, we gotta check it because I'm gonna be thinking about that until
Mount St. Helens located. Oh, in Washington State. You're right, Jake.
Yep.
You got me. Fantastic.
Yeah. But like in Washington.
Oh, I see. Because it went into Yellowstone National Park.
Yeah.
The way that it
was
exploded.
huge. It was one of the worst volcanic eruptions. It was probably the worst one in the United States.
Yeah.
For sure.
But like, and quick disclaimer about all of these events, at no point are we sort of reducing them down, these events, whatever happened there, whatever occurred. At no point do I want it to be assumed that I'm reducing these events down, or we are reducing these events down to.
I really don't think that you were implying that,
just
but
their thing. I just figured it's easier to just say it now than have to defend yourself later.
That's fair.
Like,
fair point.
Things happened here. And we all listen to podcasts or experience them, or we're alive when they happen.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to bring up is the perspective.
I suppose so. I suppose that's fair.
Because everyone who lives in Washington or the Montana area on like that side of the state is like, that's the mountain that blew up.
Yeah.
Other people who come in, they're like, we climbed Mount St. Helens. We climbed the mountain that kills.
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting thing of people like. It's a very interesting thing of like normalcy.
Yeah.
I was recently just sort of like watching a couple of movies, and a theory on Signs popped up.
Yeah.
The movie Signs.
Yeah, I've seen Signs.
It? Right, the M. Night Shyamalan. There was someone who was going through a big theory about like, why did the aliens... So, spoiler alert for Signs.
Yeah, like this old movie that if you have seen it, you've seen it. If you haven't, you probably won't.
Yeah, it's not amazing.
It's like a pretty good average film. Like I liked it a lot, but it's
a daytime weekend film.
Yeah. It's like you watch, like you wouldn't go out and buy merch of it, but like if it's
you put it on, it's well known.
If it's on a channel, you'll watch it.
Yeah, just put it on the TV and do some like light paperwork while you're doing. I don't know what people do.
Yeah,
I do crossword puzzles. Is that or?
Look, I already told you what I do. I write down Japanese news articles.
Yeah, we're not that interesting now. Yeah. We realize it. But yeah, you put it on while you're doing some sort of menial task that doesn't need your full attention, so that you can kind of back and forth on the movie. But in the movie Signs, somebody brought up the aliens are catastrophically. I don't know if allergic is the right word, but water destroys them. Water melts their skin.
Yeah.
And somebody brought up, this planet's like 70% water. It rains twice a week in certain areas in the population. Why on earth would you choose Earth?
Why on earth would we go into the ocean?
Exactly. Why are we going to Mars?
There's stuff we want there.
Yes.
Maybe.
All the beans, Jake. All of the beans.
I thought it was hot sauce.
Dude, more for me. But the point is, like, these aliens came down. They wanted the planet for some reason. Terraforming is probably an option if they have interstellar travel.
That's literally what happened in World of Worlds, though.
Yeah.
They were terraforming Earth to be more like Mars.
Yeah. Like, that was it. It was they just started destroying the surface and then rebuilding it. Yeah. That's what every single Elon Musk fan wants to happen on Mars. So they can go over there and be space pirated.
Yeah.
All right. I want to have a little discussion about
I think we should
terraform.
I think we should terraform Jupiter. That's a challenge.
Finish terraforming Earth.
I think we should terraform Jupiter because that's a challenge.
Yeah, because it's a cloud.
Yeah, it's a giant cloud. Imagine terraforming it.
Condense it to a ball this big?
Yeah.
Sounds like a bad idea, Jake.
In theory.
Oh, okay, whatever. I have no way of dealing with that. I have no way of tackling that as a problem. You've truly given me a gas giant.
Gas giant.
We're drumming on the table. Hopefully it's not destroying the recording of this. Let's look at the waveform. Oops, I'm zooming in. Zoom out?
He is messing with it. He is going crazy. And there's
I think
Dale Earnhardt.
I think we're fine.
Junior.
No way. Anyways, fun little thing I want to get about into Mars.
Mars.
Who thinks that anything on Mars is going to be lawful? Raise your hand now. If you're listening, audience, if you're listening at home, if you're watching this in private, let's say, you're on spring break, so you might be on a bus, you might be on a road trip with some friends, you might be in checking into a motel or hotel right now. I want you to pause right now, raise your hand straight up in the air, and say, I think Mars will be a lawful society. so that I can ridicule you when I finally break free of this mortal shell.
All I'm imagining is the idea of like guys on Mars being like techno bandits and like stealing stuff from people on Earth, like credit card information, and like selling them drugs.
What?
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be like the deep web, but on Mars.
Nah, dude, the radio's frequencies can't get there fast enough.
Look, they flew to Mars. They are patient. Dog bless.
That's an interesting statement.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very powerful statement, actually. I will respect that,
mm-hmm.
and I'll leave that one for later.
Okay.
What I'm getting at is how fast do you think it's going to take for some idiot to just start wild westing it up in Mars?
That'd be so cool.
Because, like, the commune's going fine, because it's, like, mostly scientists, but you got to start bringing in laborers. You got to start bringing in people to perform tasks of the more mundane nature. You need someone for maintenance of everything.
Yeah.
Because if any one system breaks, you have a catastrophic failure.
Yeah.
Unless you have enough construction workers who are brought to Mars to be able to build up other things. There's two outcomes I see here.
Yeah.
The communes, where all the rich people thought that they could live in a like agrarian rucksack style society, and then all of a sudden later on they started smuggling in furniture because they wanted to feel rich and have possessions, and it all just falls apart because like cushioned humans are the worst. No, nobles are the worst.
Yeah.
I foresee that as like they start realizing that they're doing a bunch of manual labor and that they had just all they wanted to ever do was do manual labor, and they get mad about it and then riot.
Yeah.
Or I foresee somebody screwing around and creating a mining colony, but they use old school mining laws where like you flew in on a spaceship that was a ticket that was way too overpriced, and now you owe us $100,000.
Yeah.
But we pay you $2 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Indentured servitude type stuff.
Yeah.
Those are the only two outcomes. Is like a bunch of pompous people who think they want to live in a commune but are too spoiled.
Yeah.
And they riot, or a literal 1930s mining town,
Cruisin the Planet.
and then it riots.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you see any other outcomes? Like when we finish the thought.
I'm not sure. It really just depends on who we send up there. Which, like you said, is probably going to be rich people. But
right?
Who knows? It could it could be, rich people could also turn into a prison planet. It could be what Australia was.
Oh yeah.
Like
tiny Texas, America.
Yeah, like imagine if like Mars just became like a planet full of predators. Like it's just that's where we dump our sexual predators.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. That'd be scary.
Why pay for that though?
So they would never in a million years like touch someone ever again.
But like we euthanize people.
Yeah, we do, but like we still like
I'm curious. You know what? I'm curious. Cost.
Look, I'm saying this as inspiration because I'm saying this because there's an island that does a very similar function off the coast of Washington called McNeil Island. There's this YouTuber I really like. His name is Vagrant Holiday. He did a video where he actually canoed out to that island and camped out there for a few days illegally. It's really cool. He has a really good channel. His whole gimmick is he travels to like other countries and just like
does illegal things.
Well, no, it's not illegal things.
Okay, sorry.
The laws he breaks are vagrancy laws.
Vagrancy laws. I'm not familiar.
He pays money, flies to a country, and then just acts like a bum. He camps out. He eats the cheapest food he can. He refuses to get a hotel. He hitchhikes so he can actually see the country. But like his whole modus operandi is, I want to take a really
actively be a vagrant.
Yeah, like that's why his name is called Vagrant Holiday. He's train hopped in America. He's been to like 3 European countries. He got one of his bags stolen in Portugal, I think was the place.
Crazy.
But he's been to Japan. He's been a vagrant in Japan. He's been to McNeil Island. And one of his really interesting videos is called Riot Holidays, which happened during like the George Floyd protests, like when they were like becoming less of a protest and more of a riot, where like people were breaking down doors. He just recorded what was happening and he would like talk to people. And it was a very like very unbiased view.
Very real in the moment.
Yeah, it wasn't like he wasn't trying to spin a narrative. He wasn't trying to praise them as like social justice titans, but he wasn't trying to condemn them. He wasn't trying to condemn them as
racially
a bunch of just thugs,
Right.
He was like, this is what's happening. He would make comments, he would talk to people. It wasn't very professional. It was just they broke into the Starbucks over there, or
pretty scuffed stuff.
Yeah, it's he's just a dude. He's just an average guy,
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk says that a round trip ticket to Mars will cost just $100,000.
Wow. That seems pretty cheap for a trip to Mars.
Round trip.
So coming back too.
This is the same guy that said, however,
yeah.
This is the same guy that said that the Hyperloop was totally viable.
I'm not familiar with the Hyperloop.
You've never heard about Hyperloop?
I might have, and I'm just blanking on the name. While you're looking that up, one thing I did find out, I found this out through reading Japanese news. The next space hotel, the
I heard about that.
It's going to be in 2027, I think it is. It's 6 years from now.
Intriguing.
We'll be alive to see the first space hotel. That's going to be fun. Would you save up money and go to a space hotel?
No.
No.
I can look at the sky anytime I go out into the country. Not a problem.
Yeah.
So,
can you look at the Earth?
The original, yes.
But
I'm doing it right now, Jake.
Look, Ethan. It's called. I'm not sure if you've heard of this, Ethan. It's called perspective.
What?
It's
we weren't just talking about that earlier in the show.
Look. This is where we're at, but you go here, and you only see this.
Bro.
But this, you see all that.
Elevate my mindset.
It's crazy. I know. It's called. It's
Jake, I have a curious question for you.
Sure.
So if I go up to the space hotel.
Yeah.
It's a joke, by the way. It's a joke. If I go up into the space hotel, do they have to Men in Black me when I get to see what's on the other side of the flat Earth?
I don't know, man.
Oh, no.
That's going off.
That's 2:00. All right. I'll close the door. It's fine.
Right.
Answer my question.
While you're doing that, would they have to Men in Black you? It'd probably be a hologram, actually. Actually, no, it's not. No, Ethan. Whenever you get back here, I gotta tell you the actual truth. Okay. It is. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But here's the thing. I actually no longer believe flat Earth. I believe hollow Earth.
Oh, yes.
I believe hollow Earth.
See, this one is more fun.
Yeah.
Hollow Earth allows you to have a genuinely fun time.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So it'll look totally normal on the outside.
Yeah, but on the inside it's giants.
It's giants?
Yeah, it's giants.
Not dinosaurs.
Giants.
Elaborate.
Okay, so I don't remember the text, but one of the things about giants that's very special to a lot of paranormal investigators, conspiracy theorists, anyone who's into old school mythology is that you look at books, you look at religious texts from two nations that are completely separate from each other, or multiple ones. One constant in a lot of them is the existence of giants. I
believe in Christianity and Judaism they refer to them as the Nephilim.
Yeah. A lot of really interesting
angels and humans.
There's a lot of really interesting stuff, especially involving Antarctica. One of the things is that the Nazis in Germany were trying to look for a hole into the Earth through Antarctica. That's not an on-the-books documented thing. It's definitely a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
But the theory is
that is the theory as to why Nazis went to Antarctica.
Yes, the theory of why Nazis
not UFO.
Because they wanted to find superhuman giants to help
use
them.
As a war item.
They wanted to do that and find, I think it's called Agartha. That's the city that's in the hollow Earth. Not only that, but this is something that's super interesting. Ooh. I am blanking on the name, but this is super fascinating. But there was a man who traveled to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And then came back and got picked up by just total feds. And this is what happened. This is all we know about this guy.
Yes.
He was like a guy in the army who's doing exploration in Antarctica. This is what happened. They took him into a room, told him to never speak about anything he found out there, then gave him a Medal of Honor. Think about that.
Ooh.
He found something there that the government wanted to know about. I think it's Agartha.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've Wikipedia'd Agartha.
Yeah.
Because I'm intrigued. You've gotten D&D brain, Ethan.
Yeah.
Right now, you've completely like pulled him to the front.
Please tell me you have heard of the YouTube channel Wendigoon.
I've not heard of the YouTube channel Wendigoon.
He is a guy. He does a series. He does like kind of iceberg conspiracy. He does a iceberg conspiracy theory video that's like consistent, like a layer each video, and that's where I'm getting this information from, because his whole thing is he goes through this conspiracy theory iceberg that was around long before the iceberg meme was a thing. This was back when it was like exclusively a thing, only posted on 4chan. It was posted on, this is like an X1, and it runs through it, and it is so fascinating because it goes into details about how like giants are real and they live in our hollow earth, and like it's insane.
Would the hollow earth also account for some sort of barrier that doesn't allow us to go more than a kilometer below the earth's crust?
I don't know if it's a barrier. I think it's that the conditions, like the environmental conditions to get there are too harsh for humans to withstand, but not giants.
I see. I see.
That's my theory.
I have genuine questions now. Not trying to poke holes.
Yeah.
Trying to understand what's holding it together as a hollow.
I do not know that. I genuinely am not sure.
So this could be the internal structure. Do we have any knowledge, any description?
Zero. This is all considered a conspiracy theory. You know?
Right. If there was proof of it, then it wouldn't be a conspiracy. Yeah. I'm just curious. Is there a like?
All theoretical. No one knows for sure.
Got it. This is fun to think about. You've given me a new fun one.
Watch his series. Like, it's probably like a good 30 minutes each episode.
Give me that name again.
Wendigoon. Like Wendigo, but end it with O-O, like O-N.
Wendigoon.
Hold on, I'll see if I can find him. He's like, he looks kind of like a caveman, dresses like a dad. Like, that's his whole, like, kind of gimmick. But,
here we go. Found him. Wendigoon.
That's him, yeah.
Oh.
He does like other icebergs too. I really like his disturbing
when you say
one.
Icebergs,
they're like the images that are like the most interesting facts on the top, like the least interesting, most common facts on the top, and the deeper it goes down, the more like harder to find interesting stuff.
It's love bottom of the iceberg type concepts.
That's like that's like a very popular meme format right now, because people just do it with series. Just like, oh, here's like the one that kicked it off was the Mario 64 iceberg, which is it's just like a bunch of just little facts about Mario 64. Some are jokes, some aren't.
Oh, I see.
But it's like a guy made a YouTube video on that, and that caused it to blow up because people were so interested in the idea.
Become a format.
Yeah, it's now a format. But
I see.
Before that, it was like a thing on 4chan where it's like Moo would do it for music. I have a folder that I've had since like 2015 of just old school 4chan icebergs. I think the one that kicked it off, I can't necessarily say what it is on the podcast.
I see.
It starts with an FET. It's like an iceberg of FETs. You know, you could probably finish the sentence if you're smart.
Yeah.
But that's like the one that kicked it off, because 4chan's degenerate. But and then that would like break off into like the music board would make their own iceberg for music and genres and stuff like that. And there's like,
I have an interesting question about icebergs now.
Sure.
Within like, it's not a culture, but it's rather a marker of specific groups and interests and hobbies, right?
Yeah.
So would it be uninformed to surmise that someone could see icebergs and be immediately trying to be part of that like indie underground culture, just jump to the bottom of an iceberg?
Oh, 100%. I can totally see that happening.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, I can totally see something like that happening.
But like
the thing is the problem with that is most stuff that's in the lower sections of the iceberg is just kind of like
truly unknown.
Well, it's not just that it's truly unknown. It's like if it is known, it's like for like a video game iceberg, people would put stuff like worlds.com, I think it's called, which is like an old 2000s like social MMO like Second Life that's kind of dead now and very weird and strange. You really wouldn't be playing that all that much because there's just not a whole lot to it.
I see.
But like the idea is like only someone who's like really weird and deranged would like spend all their time in worlds or like Wacky Pizza World, whatever the hell that game's called. But yeah, like it's a lot of the ones if you go down into the deep layers of like something like video games.
Yeah.
It's
stuff that is just truly niche.
It's
that,
like so niche.
You couldn't be posing.
It's
if you're
so
doing
niche
this.
that you have to be kind of a little bit insane to like actually seek that out outside of the weird niche.
Right.
You know, like most people would play something like that once to be like, oh, that was weird, and then move on. The implication is that there are people out there
who do that,
who do it constantly.
That's their whole thing.
Yes. But.
And not to kink shame hobbies, but
no, I don't.
There's a level of like this is normal because it's what the popular people and the most people do. This is weird and fringe because just you do it.
Yes.
Or just one random person out there does it.
Nowadays, icebergs are more seen as a factoid dump.
Okay.
Because that's like what the Super Mario 64 iceberg was. It was like, yeah, it had a whole bunch of just little factoids.
Interesting.
And it just got weirder and weirder as it went down. And so everyone assumed that's just what icebergs are, but they're much more than that.
They can be much more than that.
Well, they are. They are much more than that because that's what the kind of the idea of it was.
Yeah.
The problem is with a lot of icebergs, and this is something me and my friend Chris, who he doesn't like the concept anymore because he's been burnt out on just so many bad ones.
Yeah.
One of the problems is that a lot of people on YouTube will make videos where they explain icebergs made by some guy on Reddit. The problem with that is most people on Reddit will, when it comes to 4chan, there's not a dopamine gain like an upvote downvote system on Reddit would be. So when someone makes something like that, they're solely making it because they want to interact with the community. The problem with Reddit is that people make something like that because they want to get karma, they want to get upvotes, they want to get that dopamine interaction. You know, so they'll make one that's like has information, but it's not as good or fleshed out or necessarily as well made. There's good stuff on there. There's like genuinely really good icebergs that you could find on there, but a whole lot of them are kind of just
people pleaser.
Yeah, like they're
design.
Yeah, they're kind of just designed to be like, oh, I like the idea, I want to do it. I don't really have a whole lot I can work with, but I'll make this. You know, Reddit's a website of pseudo intellectuals, but you mix that up. you mix that up.
Just gonna slide my accusation in there.
Yeah, because it's true. Anyways, you take one of their icebergs, which is a hit or miss on whether it's good or not. It's like a genuine like coin flip of this could be like a genuinely really good, well made, well informed iceberg, or just a total nothing burger. You know, and then you throw in a YouTuber who could also be in the same mindset, where a lot of them are like, oh, like I want to like actually explain this, you know, which is why the Mario 64 iceberg was so good because it explained it in such detail.
They genuinely took care for the information.
Yeah, and a lot of them do. I've seen a lot of good iceberg videos that do that. But then there's people who are like, this is something people want to watch, and I'm gonna produce it.
Clout chase.
Yeah, and like you can see that a lot because one of like. It's almost like mimetic. One of the things that said is like, oh, I tried finding so much information about this and I just can't find any at all. And it's like, that's fine for like, with the conspiracy iceberg videos that Wendigoon does, I would genuinely believe him when he does that twofold because number one, a lot of stuff on there is genuinely super like obscure. And number two, the guy who made that iceberg on X years ago has admitted that, there's a lot of intentionally false, misleading information on there. It's like designed to throw off feds.
Right.
Because it's like, you're not supposed to know about this stuff. So like I can understand it sometimes, but it happens so much that I'm just like, I literally found this from like 10 minutes of searching. Like, you did not research hard enough. It wasn't the first result on Google, so you're just gonna say you didn't research it.
Like, hey, I went to page 2 of Google.
I know, right? The actual deep web.
Yeah.
And I found the information fine. Or like
and really cheap plane tickets for some reason.
yeah, and like the thing is with Wendigoon is he'll actually talk with people. Like he'll go on forums and be like, "Hey, I was wondering what this thing meant."
Yes.
You know.
So this is someone who is doing a level of journalism and research.
Yeah,
and investigative.
And
journalists.
most people don't, because they just want to like make a video that'll get good interaction. You know.
Just want to produce.
Which is why my friend doesn't really like these videos that much anymore. Is because like most of the ones he's found are just like garbage. But yeah.
Fantastic.
Speaking of conspiracies, I was going to tell you.
Oh, go ahead.
Man of Tarleton.
Man of Tarleton.
Have you not heard of that?
No.
That's it. Don't look it up yet. I want to explain it to you first.
Go ahead.
The Man of Tarleton is a very interesting case that happened in, I think, the 80s. And it was a case where there was a man who went to an airport and he had a passport.
Yes.
And on the passport, his country of origin was a country called Tarleton. Tarleton is a country that does not exist.
Anymore or ever?
Ever. And that's what's interesting about it is you look at his you would look at like his passport, all the information was correct. It was a valid passport for a country that does not exist. A bunch of members of like the FBI or like Secret Service agents basically took him and was like, where is this? Where like what like just interrogating him about like what is Tard, where is it from? And he's like,
was it interrogation in the sense of like this guy's a threat, or was it more of a level of like
they didn't know, they just,
where are you from?
Like kind of both. It was kind of like a both situation. But he was like, yeah, it's a small country in between France and Spain that's like just on the border of it. And they're like, do you mean Andorra? Because Andorra is a small country on the border of France and Spain.
Yes.
And he was like, no, it's called Tarleton. And then they showed him a map of it, and he was like, that has never been called Andorra in its life. That is Tarleton. He was adamant that Andorra, the country of Andorra, which is a real country, was actually a country called Tarleton.
There have been multiple movies in Andorra.
Yeah. Here's the kicker.
They're very good.
Here's the kicker.
Yes.
The man from Tarleton disappeared. No one knew where he went.
Ooh.
Very good stuff. That I think appears on one of the layers of the Iceberg video. But look it up. The man from Tarleton. I think it's spelled Taured.
Tarleton. Tarleton mystery. The man who vanished as mysteriously as he appeared. There's an audiobook.
Yep.
He arrived in Tokyo, Japan. He came in through customs. The officers were perplexed because they had never seen or heard about such a country. The primary language of the man, described as Caucasian looking with a beard, was French. So he spoke French. The passport was issued by the course, the Torrid. The passport looked authentic, but the place was not recognized. He was given a map to point out his country. He immediately pointed to an area occupied by the Principality of Andorra. Andorra is the border of France and Spain. And the man said that this country has been in existence for 1,000 years and was a little puzzled why his country was called Andorra on the map. The man argued with the customs office for long and refused to give in. He was also carrying currencies of different countries, probably because he had made several business trips. These built website ads, they keep moving text up and down, so you have to keep scrolling.
It's horrible.
Okay. Officials found out that the company which he mentioned existed in Tokyo, but not in Torrid. Similarly, the hotel he mentioned did exist, but hotel employees informed them that no such booking was made. This prompted officers to take the man in custody for further interrogation. Officers were suspicious that he might be some criminal and confiscated his documents and personal... I swear, ads, get out of my way.
Ad block, man.
Confiscate. It's the university computer, man.
I have ad block on my account.
They confiscated his documents and personal belongings. The officers put the mystery man in a nearby hotel whilst they conducted their investigation. To ensure the mystery man didn't escape, 2 guards were placed on the door. It must be mentioned that the hotel room which he was staying had one entry and exit point only. But to everyone's surprise, he vanished the next morning.
The man from Tarleton.
Interesting.
The theory is that he
Fantastic.
came from an alternate dimension.
I completely see that coming.
Right? Yeah, he came from an alternate dimension where Andorra was actually Tarleton.
Oh my gosh.
And he disappeared. It's a glitch in the Matrix. The universe made a mistake.
Did he get replaced by another person? Did they swap, or did he got snuck in, so he had to get sucked back out?
No one knows. No one knows.
But he rolled in on a plane.
It's really good.
That is literally a like unreleased Twilight Zone episode.
It's right.
Full
and it
on.
happened. It happened in
Full
real
on.
life.
Full on.
The man from Tarleton. God, yeah.
Yeah, Taured.
Taured. Yep.
Tarleton.
Tarleton. That's what it said on his passport. Legitimate passport too, but country, not Andorra, didn't exist.
Not real.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Freaking cool.
Right.
I always love conspiracies. I usually, whenever Lance is around, Jake isn't allowed to go like full in on conspiracy theories or whatnot, just because that's really not the flavor of the show. I'm sort of speaking to the audience here. But it's spring break.
Yeah, I'm a bit wacky.
A year ago,
I'm wearing my slacks.
Jake is literally wearing sweatpants into work today. He's off the clock, even though he's a salary man, so it's not really the same thing. But he's not obligated to come into work today.
I'm doing this because I want to.
He gets Thursdays off.
I get Thursdays off this week, but I'm coming in because I like your show that much, Ethan.
You know what? Thank you very much, Jake. It warms my soul. But I figured it's a year ago, everything kind of cracked open and went crazy. This year, let's just sort of relax, look into some very nonsensical stuff. I think I was watching some sort of I was watching a movie. I think right before coming to work today, I was watching like part of a movie, and it had a very similar like world virus theme playing through it, and it was just getting like to be a depressing movie. 100% had to turn it off and just look at like X-Files for like a good 20 minutes to be like, I can't do that right now. Like we're living that. I need like escapism is what I guess I'm getting at here. And like if you're stuck in because you don't want to repeat what happened last spring break, this spring break, and you're kind of looking for something to do but you feel like you're stuck in, escapism.
It's so good.
I only recommend it in the purest and smallest form of a book, a video game. In Stephenville right now, it's pretty gloomy. Here, let me pull up the weather. I have a
It's gonna rain this
shortcut.
weekend.
It's gonna rain tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow I'm on
no, it's moved. Here we go. I have the full forecast. I'll use my KTRL voice.
Sounds good.
In Stephenville, it's currently overcast, set at 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius, with a humidity at 55% and a visibility out till 10 miles. We have a southwestern wind at 7 miles per hour, with gusts nowhere to be seen. Later on this afternoon, we can expect it to be mostly cloudy with the sun breaking through just a bit, a high of 76 for the entirety of the day. Tonight, we can expect it to continue to be mostly cloudy with a low of 63. Friday, mostly cloudy with a high of 79. Friday night, the clouds will stay with a low of 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Saturday, that's when things will start picking up. 20% chance of showers, and then later on into Saturday afternoon, 20 to 80% chance of thunderstorms with a high of 77 and a low of 55. Looks like things are going to both cool down and heat up on Saturday. Sunday, we have a 30% chance of storms in the morning with the sun coming out to clean those away with a high of 71 and a low of 46 for the entirety of Sunday. Sunny, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Right back here Monday morning next week.
Let's go.
So when I was doing the weather and news last week, that's always fun to do. I was told that I have a narrator's voice that I use a lot.
Yeah, I've noticed it.
I think it just works perfectly for these sort of situations.
100%.
I love it. It's actually how I got a job here.
Yeah?
I was doing the narrator voice while playing a game of Magic the Gathering with some friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if only I could like be a newscaster, like actually have like a job in radio. And they were like, we have an on-campus radio station.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you guys think I should? Yes, you should absolutely work there, Ethan. I was like, all right, I'm going to go tomorrow. And they're like, just go now. And I was like, all right, I concede. You win all my stuff. I'm going.
And here you are.
And I work here now.
Yeah.
follow the dreams of your stupid college roommates.
I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for this radio station, I probably wouldn't want to pursue a job in radio.
Yeah.
Like this place.
I literally changed my major after starting working here. I started off in electrical engineering. I was thinking of, I do electrical engineering, I work at a radio station, I get more involved in, computer and automation and the technical side of things, but I loved just being the voice. I loved the announcing. I loved the scripting, the production. I loved that part so much.
Yeah.
And so now that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I mean, I graduated with digital media degree, but like you mix in a good.
Yeah, you're an art student.
I'm technically an art student, so I got I got one of the most pointless degrees in existence.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like you take a digital media degree, which is definitely like the higher epsilon of art degrees, especially considering I got into like the tech degree field, so I have like a little bit more technical prowess than my contemporaries, because I think like maybe me and like 3 other guys were like tech focused, and the rest were pure art because they just didn't know how to do math like at all. Like I'm bad at math, but like I was able to pass calculus my second time around.
Right.
The point is, though, is that I have that. Mix that in with the experience I have here. I think.
Dude.
I mean, the experience at this station. I think
this is worth.
Yeah, I think that if you're going into radio.
Yeah.
I think that this job is more valuable to you than like a comps degree.
Oh my gosh, dude. Everything. I looked up because as I was going to switch my major, I had a huge talk with Lance. I was like, hey man, I'm switching out of electrical engineering. It's really not my speed. I really just can't deal with any of the other electrical engineering people either. There's a lot of ego in STEM that I'm not here for.
Yeah. Which sucks because that's like the one degree that will get you a job.
Yeah, that's the thing. Electrical engineering in Texas will just give you $100,000 in your pocket every year.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh well. Maybe I could have invented the carbon battery, but if I do that, I'll do that because I want to, not because I have the degree.
Yeah.
But, which was another good realization, a healthy realization I had of like, well, if I wanted it, I'd be doing it.
That's what I'm doing with Japanese.
Exactly.
I don't need a degree to learn this stuff. I'm just...
Exactly.
There's so much information on the internet that your only excuse for not learning a new skill, trait, hobby, etc. is you just don't want to.
Yeah, which is fine. You can not want things.
Yeah, but like...
Let me finish here. Because that's a whole nother like argument that has probably been made 1,000 times. I genuinely talked with Lance, and I was like, I want to switch degrees. Would you recommend a comms degree? Lance said, absolutely not.
Yeah?
Absolutely not, because I'm already doing what a comms degree would be doing.
Yeah.
I'm basically in an entry-level job right now.
Yeah.
I'm about to hit 2 years of radio experience.
Yeah.
I've been a radio host for 1 year of that. I'm hosting an NPR program. I've been a board op for 6 months.
Yeah.
I've been a digital media producer, upgraded to a digital media director. Have run multiple advertisement campaigns, built a website, built a podcast network, hosted a podcast for over a year.
Yeah.
Like multiple really good like portfolio achievements. I'm so proud of every one of these portfolio achievements and all of them are working models. That have shown growth after being created as well. A degree barely gets you in the door. I can walk in and like show like I can do this and this and this and this and this.
Like honestly,
and you don't have to worry of like he's got a degree, but did he just sneak through with C's? Did he have B's? It was like no, I built a website. I've done the port forwarding. I've done it. Yeah. I understand it.
Like my whole thing is that I will talk about how like a degree is a waste of money and whatnot, but to be fair, if I didn't have a degree I wouldn't be able to get this job. So to that I can say like it was worth it. It was worth.
But you also had the benefit, which I don't, where part of your schooling is covered.
That is true. Yeah.
Like I work at this job to pay for my schooling so that I can continue attending college to stay at this job. I'm in a circle.
It is oddly enough kind of lucrative how much it's like free labor.
Yeah.
It's like you can work for us so you can pay us off for this degree that's not really worth anything. Yeah. Which will in turn put you into debt so that you will constantly have to have a job and constantly be in a unnecessarily high amount of debt so that you'll still be an indentured servant. It's ludicrous.
I don't want to hammer this nail too far into this coffin, so we'll have this be the last point I make.
Yes.
Before we move on to finish up the show. But I genuinely have had multiple thoughts of either dropping out of college or going into debts.
Yeah.
To just make it easier.
Yeah.
The stress of being in class while also needing to have a job, needing to have an income.
It's ridiculous.
And the whole time still being in a, still being in a spending deficit, even at the end of it, is just so taxing mentally that I do nothing on the weekends. When I get off, I just kind of sit there and I'm like, I'll do it again next week. It's like an existential wall that has to be crawled. It's a Sisyphean task almost, because I'm down to 2 classes a semester.
Yeah.
And I'll do that for the next 3 years.
Yeah, and it's like, well, that's just a waste of your own time. If college was what it was back then.
Oh yeah.
We already had that convo before this.
Before this, we had a really good conversation when Jake came in and we were doing microphone test of minimum wage needs to be $27 an hour, and all the boomers have done this and that, and they've made entry to everything terrible, and the wealthy need to come down. We had a very big eat the rich moment.
Yeah,
it was very fun.
Yeah.
And we also got fun talking about Alaska's UBI.
Alaska has a UBI, which is
Jake's moving to Alaska soon.
Maybe.
Do radio in Alaska.
Yeah,
I would love to. I have a goal.
Anchorage.
I have a visual goal of me that I can see: 2-door truck.
Yeah.
Snow tires, all terrain. A little dog, 30 to 50 pounds.
I'd move to Alaska, but my dad would get jealous.
That's fine. Your dad can be jealous. You're living the dream.
Yeah.
Drive out of the homestead.
Yeah.
Couple of miles, maybe 30 miles max. To the station, unlock the door, sit down with a coffee, hit start, and just do the morning show till lunch. Walk it out. Lock it up on the way out, or pass the keys off to the afternoon guy.
That'd be so choice.
Just freaking, dude, that's a dream.
I'm down.
Just be the local informer.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love that. I'm gonna look up what it takes to put up a radio station. I might do it. I might just make my own radio station.
Yeah.
Just start off.
Be a big investment.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up everything that it takes.
All right.
You know what? That'll be my career, to eventually build my own station. I would love that.
That'd be so good.
That would be so great.
That'd be great.
Jake, I think we're done. I think we did it.
That was an amazing show.
I think we've done it.
I think we did a fantastic job this episode.
I'm gonna finish off. We started off really fun in conspiracies.
Not only that, the thing that was really good about this episode, not to toot our own horn.
No, go ahead.
But it was the transition into each subject was perfect. There was never a need to check the thing, which there's no fault to that. But it's there's never a need to be all right, let's see what the next subject I have on the tack is. It's just one after another. Banger. Good episode.
Hey man, Jake, it's almost like I know what I'm doing.
It's magic.
And it could also be the fact that I just have Jake at spring break is my one note for this week.
And it worked.
That might have been it.
That's
You'll
magic.
never know. I'll never tell. Oh, whoops! I have CDC information hanging around. I gotta get rid of this. The vaccines have already been all given out in town. Alrighty. Ending of the show. That's right. Zoom this up. Listeners, viewers, we come to a close on this here episode. If you showed up late or wish to revisit us, you can find this show on our YouTube channel, Tarleton Radio, as a video, or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts, because it is both a YouTube video and a podcast, and a live stream. What a complicated show.
I know, man.
For updates about the show and other interesting things we make here at the station, follow us on the links in the description. It's all of our socials and whatnot. This has been your episode of Cruisin the Planet. We really didn't talk much about something to do in and around Stephenville this week. We mostly talked about the fact that, since it's kind of easy to tell you from my window, I can see that Stephenville is empty. because everyone's left for spring break.
Yep.
I think the freeze had something to do with that. Everyone leaving out of town because they were locked in.
And they're like, well, we got to get out of here.
We got to just get out of here.
We got to leave now.
But what we can do for those of you who are afraid of repeating last year's spring break and being a minor force in a much larger wave that is to come in Texas, it's pretty obvious. Escapism. We sort of covered a couple of fun things to sort of sink your time into if you're kind of stuck in. Watch the movie Signs. Look up Icebergs about different concepts. There was Super Mario, the video game.
Yep.
I mean, I think one of the best Super Mario games currently out right now, not Super Smash Brothers. There's a new character for Super Smash Brothers, which has stolen all of my friends. But there's a whole bunch of things you can go and look up. Escapism. We'll name that as the theme for to do in Stephenville today.
Left 4 Dead 2.
Left 4 Dead. Yeah, we covered a bunch of them. In the comments, Easter egg style, tell us every single type of escapism type media that we brought up this week. It was like a secret theme. If you have any suggestions or questions about the show, you can leave them as a comment or a review of the show if you're able to do so. And as always, I will see you all next week. Goodbye.
See you around, everybody.
Fantastic, Jake. We really killed